Okay, so in this video, this is a full question and answer session about everything about the Mallorca Under the Sun YouTube channel and about me, Alex, who runs it. Now, you may well have seen my community post just a few days ago asking for any questions that you may have about what it's like filming for YouTube from over here in Mallorca. I also asked on the Mallorca Under the Sun Facebook group too. Now, I'm not going to include all the answers in this particular spot here from over here in Magaluf. In fact, I'm going to be filming this over a period of days so you can see other areas around the island as well, just to give you a flavour of what Mallorca is like. So I'm going to ask you, before we continue, to consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, because throughout the summer for 2025 I'll be bringing you holiday news, travel tips, holiday guides and more as well to help prepare you for your holiday over here in Mallorca. But let's start this video from over here on the very sunny Magaluf beach. I'm actually up in the lifeguard tower and we're going to start off with your questions, for which I have many answers. Okay, so we're going to start off with username Johnny Brew, and he's asked me, whereabouts on the island do you live? Well, Johnny, I live over in the Cala Mayor area, Cala Mayor San Agustin area. It's basically on the last area of Palma before you hit the municipality of Calvia, which is home to Magaluf and Palma Nova. And it's why actually I film down here so much, because I'm literally 7 kilometres from home, so I can get down here very quickly and very easily. It's a fantastic place to live. It's right on the west side of Palma, and I'm about 200 metres walk from the beach as well, which is amazing. So that's where I live, and that's also why I film so much on this side of the island. Glyn asks, how many languages do you speak? Well, I thought I would answer that because just because I'm a Brit living over here in Mallorca doesn't mean to say that I can speak Spanish, but I do speak Spanish. So obviously I'm British, my mother tongue is English, but I also speak Spanish as well to an okay level. I understand everything and I make lots of grammatical mistakes, but I do understand and I do speak Spanish quite well now. I've been here long enough anyway. Michael asks, would you go to the other islands to show around them? And Michael, yes, I would love to, and I do have plans to visit some of the other islands, the Balearic Islands, so Menorca, Ibiza, Formentera as well. The issue is I have at the moment is that, well, I am a single mum over here, and I do find it very, very hard to get away just because of the nature of my personal situation. So as much as I would like to fly over to, say, Ibiza for a couple of days, it's not always possible, and it's very hard to film and take your daughter with you when really we should be on holiday. If we're on holiday, we're on holiday. If I'm out filming, well, I'm out filming. So it's very hard to mix the two things. But hopefully, and soon, and at some point, she's getting older, so there will come to a point when I can go to other parts of the Balearic Islands and indeed outside of the Balearic Islands to film as well. So watch out for those videos, they'll be coming soon. And I am going to trial as well a few extreme day trips as well to see how they perform on the channel. So keep an eye on those as well, with some recommendations of places that you can go, even if it's just for a day or two. Pete asks, have you thought about drone footage for some videos and not live videos, or even get someone to do some for you for some special intros? Right, here's the thing, Pete, I've actually got a drone. I got a drone a couple of years ago, and I started doing the licence for it because you can't just fly a drone here. You need to have a proper licence, you have to register the drone as well, you have to do it all legally, and I got halfway through the licence and I just got busy and I haven't been able to finish it because it's actually quite a lot of work. And well, really I haven't needed a drone at the moment, but I would look at maybe using some drone footage in the future. But at the moment I'm not going to fly a drone, because if you do get caught by the police flying a drone and you don't have a license, you can land yourself a nasty fine, and I've kind of got by without one so far. Anyway, next question. Deb's Paintings has asked me, what's your favourite Spanish food to eat in a restaurant or make yourself? Well, I have to say I'm a big fan of a paella. You may well have seen my food review from over at El Mundo restaurant. There's nothing like eating a fantastically freshly made paella, particularly by the sea as well. So I would say that's my favourite Spanish food, particularly on a hot summer's day with a nice cold glass of wine. I thoroughly recommend it. I don't normally cook Spanish food at home. I just rather go out and make it in the restaurant. One of my best friends is Spanish. She makes a great paella. I tried to make paella once and I nearly burnt the kitchen down, so I won't be trying that again in a hurry. But we've obviously got loads of amazing restaurants on the island, so I'd recommend if you're coming over, just go to any of these restaurants and get something really authentic too. And hopefully I'll have some more food reviews coming out on the channel in the new year. Anyway, that's enough questions from over here in the lifeguard tower in Magaluf. We're going to change locations and probably change day as well. So I'll see you on the next batch of questions in another location. Okay, so I'm over here on the Playa de Palma for the next part of the Q&A, and I have quite an appropriate question here from subscriber Deepans Huya Suda Deia. I can't pronounce that, sorry. Anyway, and you say, which part of the island would you recommend to visit around Christmas? And what's the weather like? Are raincoats and jackets and winter jackets necessary? Well, you can see I'm down here on the beautiful Playa de Palma. I'm in a jumper and I've actually just filmed a live stream and a recorded video here. So you can see during that live stream and during the recorded video, I'm in a jumper, and at one point I was down to a long sleeve shirt. If you're visiting over the Christmas season, if you're visiting in December and January, when you have a sunny day, well, it's perfectly possible to be walking around here in a t-shirt, as I've seen many people doing today. But as the sun does begin to drop, it does get very cold. So my advice to you is to bring a winter coat, bring a raincoat as well, because we do get showers, and I can see some clouds bubbling up in the distance too. But this is a great spot to come to for Christmas. You're about 20 minutes on the bus from Palma city centre. It's a little bit cheaper to stay out here as well. I do also recommend staying in Palma city centre. You're in the hub of the Christmas festivities, of the Christmas lights too. It's very, very beautiful. Go and check out my Christmas content from over there. And also you're right near the bus station too, so you can also get to other parts of the island. So I hope that helps. Okay, so we've got one more question here. We'll do one more question while we're over here on the Playa de Palma. Glyn says, serious question, Alex. Some people up in Andrach have had their property seized and demolished. You may well have seen that in the news. Is this a common problem, and what should you be wary of? What should property owners look out for? Now, that rumble in the background isn't thunder or rain or anything like that. It is an aircraft. We are right on the other side of the airport. But if you are buying anything over here, regardless of what you're buying, whether down in Andrach or in other areas of the island, well, I would recommend doing your due diligence and getting a lawyer to check out the legals on the property. Make sure you do all of that, and even cross-check it as well before you buy anything over here, because there could be some hidden clauses in property deeds as well. What happened over in Andrach was absolutely terrible. I mean, I can't go into the ins and outs of it because I don't really know very much about it, but I will be having more content coming out on the channel in January and February about living here in Mallorca. I didn't want to make that content on the run up to Christmas because a lot of it is very serious as well. It's what life is like over here. It's not all sangria and flip-flops. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already and see what it's like living over here in Mallorca. Anyway, the sun's going down here over here on the Playa de Palma. It's not even 5 o'clock yet, but we're going to get off the beach and we're going to come back on another part of the island for the rest of this Q&A. Okay, so I'm just passing through Valldemossa and I thought I'd give you some really nice views of this beautiful old town while we answer a couple more questions. And I have a question here from Ben in Nottingham who says, Alex, how long does it take to edit a recorded video? And I also have the same question from Tommy over on the Facebook group who asked me how long it takes to edit a 15 or 20-minute video. And also, what's your favourite chilli sauce? We'll start with the chilli sauce because that's very important. I like a good sriracha sauce and it goes with basically anything. Always like a little bit of hot and spicy food. I'm not keen on bland food. And I can't remember the brand name, so I'll drop a picture on screen, but I really recommend that. Anyway, okay. Okay, so how long does it take to edit a video? Well, the first thing I'm going to say is it takes way too long. Anyone that has a YouTube channel just knows how long a video edit can take. Sometimes I can get it done in about 2 hours. I've tried to refine the process. Often it takes more than 2 hours, and it can take around 4 hours, sometimes 6 hours, occasionally 8. And all that post-production stuff as well, that can take easily another half an hour to 45 minutes as well, just to do the thumbnails and the text. So as you can see, actually doing YouTube is pretty time consuming, particularly from the returns that you get on the video too. But the one video that took the longest to do this year was my guided itinerary, my day itinerary from Palma, coming through Valldemossa, over to Deia, down to Soller, over to Port de Soller. So it took all day to film, and then it took pretty much an entire day and a bit to edit as well. So that was a huge edit because it was quite actually a long video too, even though I actually really enjoyed making that video as well. So that was one of my favourite to make too, and I hope to bring you more itineraries. Now, also on the same vein as well as being in this particular area, I do have a question from Sash Windows Renovations. Now, as you know, the old towns over here are very popular with cyclists, and this chap asked me, hiya, I'm going to do a bike packing trip to Mallorca and Menorca, and I was wondering if I could store my bike box at yours, lol. Do you know what, I'm actually half tempted to say, yeah, that's no problem at all. This is a great area for cycling, the whole island is, and as you know, particularly in this area, it attracts a lot of cyclists, and obviously there's a need for bike storage areas. Unfortunately, it won't be in my apartment though, but do you know what, if I had a big place, and if I had a big apartment, I would probably say yes. But we actually had to get rid of our push bikes a few years ago, just for space reasons and just because I was fed up with tripping over it every single time we went into the hallway or out onto the terrace as well. Haven't got room, but it's something I'd love to do maybe in the future if I ever move into a bigger apartment, which at this stage, and judging by the property over here in Mallorca, is extremely unlikely. Anyway, let's leave the very lovely Valldemossa now, and let's head off back towards Palma, and I'm going to answer a few questions from back that way. Anyway, come on, let's go. Okay, so from Valldemossa to down here in Santa Ponsa, it's also a different day as well, but let's answer some more of these questions. Now, I have a question here from Jersey Baby, who has said, I'm currently looking at buying a property and I'm shortlisted to Tenerife, Fuerteventura and Mallorca. I'm wondering how your experience of living there would negatively impact you buying a property in Mallorca. Right, well, for a start, just comparing to the other places you mentioned, I've never been to Tenerife. I have been to Fuerteventura. Can't imagine myself ever living there. I'm sure it's a very nice place to live, but for me personally, it'd be a little bit far away from everything, a little bit quiet. Over here in Mallorca, the one negative thing is the price of the property, really. You could probably buy an entire mansion in anywhere else in mainland Spain, or you can just get yourself a holiday apartment here. Plus there's a big shortage of supply too, but I'm going to have more content coming out on the channel all about living in Mallorca during the months of January and February, so subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already to catch that content. But I think the main prohibitive issue about getting any kind of property over here in Mallorca is going to be price-based. Yeah, you need a high budget, basically, is all I'm going to say, and you're going to be lucky if you find anywhere because property is in hot demand. But anyway, let's move on to our next question. And we're jumping around a little bit with these questions actually, but I've just been printing them off as they have been appearing on the channel. We're going to move on over to the Facebook group now, and I have a question here from Nigel, who says, how did you come to set up your home in Mallorca? And then Ryan also asked, how did it all begin? Why did you choose to move to Mallorca all those years ago? Well, at this point, I can point you in the direction to a book that I wrote a couple of years ago. It's called Living in Mallorca Under the Sun. It's out now on Amazon. I'll drop a link to that below. I haven't shamelessly plugged that for a long time, but the long and short of it is, if you want to find out why I moved to the island, I was living in Newcastle for about 8 years. I was travelling to and from the Caribbean a lot as well. I'd actually just done my GCSE Spanish as well when I moved to the island, but it was basically down to getting a job over here. And as you may know, well, I've been working in tourism now for well over 20 years. It's my industry of choice, and there's nothing like living in amongst the whole tourism business as well, and that's one of the reasons why I moved over here, because let's face it, who wouldn't want to live in Mallorca and just kind of live in a destination that so many people come on holiday to as well. Just don't need to go on holiday again, save myself a ton of cash. Anyways, let's have a look at one more question before we move on, and that is from Kelly, also from the Facebook group. How difficult is it to move to Mallorca, and is it as easy to or difficult to find work, especially for a non-speaking Spanish person, as us need to earn some income? Once again, I'm going to have more information about moving to Mallorca in 2025. Things have changed considerably, and if you are British, if you have a British passport, it's no longer as easy as just upping sticks and moving over here. Work-wise, if you do have the right to work here, and if you can get to work here, you can easily find work here over the summer, because there's always people in bars and restaurants needing English speakers, particularly in the resorts. Holiday companies need reps, and airport staff need people too. Also, there are lots of big hotel chains here. The company I used to work for, Hotel Beds as well, it's a big international company. So if you're interested in working in the tourism business, then there are lots of opportunities there. Of course, it helps you if you have Spanish, and I just absolutely wouldn't recommend moving anywhere to any country without a basic level of the language. And like I said, I moved over here with pretty much an A grade in Spanish GCSE, so I came here well prepared, and then it just obviously moved on from there. But catch my content coming out in early 2025, all about moving to the island. Okay, so let's leave the coastline here from over here in Santa Ponsa. Let's head back this way somewhere, and we'll catch the rest of the questions from there. So we've just come down the side of the beach, and well, it's not any warmer here. I should have gone into the sunshine. Okay, so let's get through a few more of these questions. Lee asked, also on the Facebook group, obviously you have to drive across the island to film. What's the differences between Mallorca and the UK in terms of insurance, MOT, taxes and fuel costs? Well, I don't know what it is in the UK, because I only hire a car over there. I think petrol it's a bit more expensive here, because they have to get it to this little island. I know you live on the little island in the UK, but yeah, petrol ranges quite drastically actually. But personally, I normally pay around €60 a week roughly in filling up my Ford Fiesta, and that gets me out and about around the island. Sometimes it's more than that, and in the summer sometimes they do tend to hike those prices up. Don't know whether that's because of demand, probably, who knows. In terms of MOTs, we have the ITV, the ITV over here. Mine's due actually in January, you've just reminded me. That costs around €30, but you kind of have to put it through the garage for a quick check, and that normally costs about €100 or so as well to get that done. Insurance, I'm paying about €550 for the year for my Ford Fiesta, and just paid that actually. I hate December, because not only is it Christmas, but all my insurance has come up, and that was one of them. So yeah, I had the joy of paying that too. Also as well, the one thing that is really good over here, actually, I have to say that the insurance service is pretty good, because over the summer, and here's the behind the scenes look, when Kevin the Scotsman was over here filming, I was going over to meet him in Alcudia, and my car broke down. I was in Poyensa, I'd just made a video, and went back to my car died, and within seconds I was saved by Jesus, or Jesus, who's the mechanic who came over from Poyensa Old Town, got my car started again. I think it was a battery problem or something, I can't remember now, but yeah, they come and rescue you here very quickly if you do break down, and normally you're within quite a short distance from a garage as well. You can get you back, either back on the road or take your car back to where you live as well. So 10 out of 10 on the insurance services over here, I have to say. Anyway, next question, which is from Paul, who says, do you like the Airplane movie? Oh gosh, I haven't seen that for years. I guess you're referring to my recent experiences of flying over here. Do you know what, I must go back and watch that, but yeah, I love those old 80s movies, absolute classics. Dave has asked, I have a question. How many hours a week do you work, just to keep us informed? Oh, do you know what, I should keep a tally on my hours, but I think the one way to answer that is pretty much all the time. When you're working in a full-time job, you either work from 9 to 5, you go home and whatever your hours are. But with this, I kind of try and plan a bit. I go out and film, I come back, I'm normally editing something else, and I'm planning, then I'm sleeping, then I'm planning, then I'm editing. Anyway, it's just this ongoing cycle, plus also going onto the Facebook group, going onto the socials. I do really enjoy it. I wouldn't do this if I didn't enjoy it. I most enjoy the live streams. I think they're always really good fun to film and to do as well. Don't have the editing there either, but yeah, I just spend too much time doing this. I'm going to try and cut down my hours slightly. I also have to say as well, please guys, don't take offence if I don't add you, or if I don't accept your Facebook requests. I'm just literally, I never post on my personal account on Facebook anymore. There's no point, basically, because otherwise I'd just be spending more time on social media. I've closed down my messaging as well, and I'm not going to be looking at that anyway at all. If anyone wants to contact me, they can phone me, but I just can't spend any more time than I'm already doing staring at a screen. So in the terms of being healthy for the new year, just trying to really minimise the amount of time I spend on the computer, which is just way too much time. Anyway, Andrew has asked, I was wondering, what do you do in your spare time when you're not filming? That's a great question as a follow-up to that. To me saying I'm working all the time. Well, when I do have free time, and I mean free time when I'm not filming and I'm not doing stuff with my daughter, I take the first opportunity I can get to hop on the bus or to go into Palma to go meet up with my friends and to go out for dinner, and to just catch up with them, basically, because I have been working so much on this that of course it's going to affect your friendships, and I miss my friends as well if I can't catch up with them regularly. But many of us are in the same boat as well, and I do have some friends that do pretty much the same as what I'm doing on different niches, so we always like to catch up. And my older friends as well, I've always try and keep up with my oldest friends here on the island too, so that's kind of what I do. But I will be joining a gym in the new year because I just need to get fit as well. Although I'm outside and I'm walking, I'm not particularly a very fit person, so it's going to be kind of streamlining the way I work a little bit better to have a bit more time for myself. I also used to be big into photography too, but I'm not continuing with that at the moment, just because again it's the screen time. I want to cut down on the screen time, but I also have to say I really do enjoy reading. So and that's reading like a proper book, a paper book, and the only time I kind of have time to do that is when we go to the beach in the summer. We go without our phones, we just take a book to the beach and sit there for a few hours and read. So I'm also going to try and do a bit more of that as well. Okay, so Julie has asked, do you have any plans to do videos from towns across Mallorca rather than coastal and tourist towns? It would be lovely to see the towns and the villages. Well, yes, I will do. I will film some, particularly on the run up to the spring while it's a little bit quieter over here. I won't film so much towns and villages in the hot summer months, but I will do some on the run up to the springtime as well and give you some guides from there. Frank, part of the Monkey Tour 2025 over on the Facebook group, Frank has asked me, do the local police or the Guardia Civil ever stop me from filming? Well, no, I don't, because you can film in public. It's not illegal to film in public over here. I'm not filming anyone, I'm just filming a general scene. So yeah, no, I don't get stopped. I have been stopped by the Guardia Civil once when they thought I was flying a drone, but on the basis I don't fly a drone. I can't fly a drone, I don't have a license for one. They just let me carry on filming. But I do know the local police around here because I see them all the time down Palma Nova, Magaluf Way, along the promenades. They patrol all the time and they always stop and say hello. So no, apart from a cheery wave and an hola, I don't get stopped. So, but they know who I am, which is quite funny. Laura asks, what is the thing you love most about island life in Mallorca, and what do you find the most challenging? Well, I'm going to start with the most challenging, and that has got to be being autónomo. Again, I've got a video coming out about working for yourself in Spain and the sheer hell that is. The most challenging thing is by far doing my tax returns. I always end up in tears about it. That's like 4 times a year, every quarter we have to do that, so that's definitely the most challenging. What do I enjoy most? I just love living here, and I love the weather. Obviously it's a big plus for living here, and with the great weather brings positivity amongst people as well. We've got a big international community here. I've got some friends here, some really good friends, not just like Mallorquin or Spanish, but also, you know, from all over the world too. So I just love living here. It's multicultural, it's beautiful, and yeah, I love it. So I can't really pinpoint one thing, but you know, I can't complain about my life. I'm just eternally grateful being able to live here and walk along lovely beaches like this down here in Santa Ponsa. So yeah, I can't complain. Gordon has asked, is your daughter not interested in the videos? We never see her on your trips, although she is with you. Yeah, you normally see me chasing her through the airport and following her through the airport as she's hurrying through. But no, I don't have her on the videos. She's going to be 15 next year, so she won't be on the videos. You get a lot of YouTubers, and fair enough, if you're a YouTuber and you want to put your child on camera, and you want to throw your kids on camera and say, look at my child, just to get more views, I don't think it's a good idea. I was saying to another YouTuber actually recently that my daughter actually thanked me for not using her for views, which I see so many other YouTubers do. You don't need to. You just let them have their childhood, let them grow up in you know, having some kind of privacy, and when she's about 40 I might just let her have a YouTube channel, but until then she ain't having one anyway, and she's not being on the videos either. It's not fair. Anyway, finally we have Nadine, and Nadine has a question actually. This is more of a visiting Mallorca question about the Museo Ferrocarril and the mini train circuit. This is an attraction actually, and it's not in Sóller. I think it's near Marachi. Nadine, all I'm going to say is watch the channel. I'm going to go and hunt that down and see if I can't get out there over the winter. Okay everyone, thank you very much for watching my Q&A. That was quite good fun actually. I hope you liked a few views around the island. I have to say I actually forgot to film some answers, which is why I'm just rattling these off on the far side of Santa Ponsa beach here before we leave the island for Christmas. But I might do these from time to time because quite enjoy doing it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I shall be back with you with more content. If you have any other questions, drop them below as well, and I'll pick them up in another video. Okay guys, don't forget you can find me on the Facebook group and on my Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun, and I will see you very soon on hopefully a much warmer day in my next video. Goodbye for now.